Let me ask you something very honestly to you here. If you are working full time right now, or even doing internships or summer projects, or maybe full time studying, maybe, and you're also trying to study for an exam after that, does it feel almost impossible to focus after work? You come home tired, your brain is fried, and you sit at the table, and somehow 1 hour disappears without real studying. If this sounds familiar, this video is going to be for you. If this sounds familiar to you. Because a few years back, when I was working full time in the United States here and preparing for my PMP certification, I went through exactly this. And I will talk about what happened and what helped me. For you, you think of PMP exam with something else. That was the exam that I did, but you think of your exam that you are studying right now, so that it will be helpful for you as well. Okay, what helped me wasn't discipline, motivation, or some fancy study hacks, tips and tricks and study in 1 hour. It was something much more practical. Let me explain here. At that time, I was working full time during the day. Full time, long hours, meetings, deadlines, mentally exhausting work. This was pre-pandemic. So because it was pre-pandemic, you have to go in office every day. Really exhausting, travel, drive and everything. And then after work, I had to study because I had decided to do this certification. Not casually, but seriously. PMP isn't something you clear by just watching few videos, right? You need focus, you need consistency, and you need mental energy. And that's where the problem started. And I think, as I said, try to think of the exam that you are doing. For me, it is PMP that I am sharing about. At home, I just couldn't study properly. I mean, the table was there, the chair was there, everything looked perfect on paper. Like everything is there, you just have to go sit and study. But in reality, I was just wasting time when I was home. I would open the book, check my phone, walk around and just get distracted. And this happened not for a few days. I found this pattern happening for a few months with me. And hours would pass and I would realize I had studied almost nothing. So I thought maybe I just need a different kind of environment, because when I was doing my engineering, I used to go to the library and that had helped me at the time. So I thought, why not get out of the house? But now this is in the United States. What can I do? So I tried going to public libraries nearby in California. They were quiet. They were peaceful. So I was able to kind of study better there. But there was a problem. Most of them actually closed early. The ones public libraries I used to go to, like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., that kind of time. By the time I reached after work, I barely had time. I had to rush there, study, but that didn't solve my problem, right? I didn't get enough time to study there because they were closing too early after work for me. Then, after that, something strange happened. Because one evening I was sitting in a McDonald's here and not studying. I was just sitting there in the McDonald's. I had just gone there to visit and eat something. And suddenly I thought, why can't I study here? It felt awkward even thinking about it. Like McDonald's, like we go there for, spending our time, not for studying really. But I tried. I said, why not? Let me try. Because McDonald's was open late. So I thought, let's give it a try. And surprisingly, it worked. Because no pressure, no one bothered me there. And because it was open late, I could get more time. So I could sit for hours after work, sit in the McDonald's, order something and have a Coke and, study. Later, I shifted to Starbucks. Same idea. It was open late, people working quietly, some background noise there. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes it got crowded, but it was better than home. In the McDonald's and even in the Starbucks, I just felt something missing. There were music going on there, right? Like not loud music, but music going on there. People doing other things. So I wanted a place where people around me were also studying seriously, just to create that environment. That's when I heard something interesting. Someone told me, I was just talking with them regarding this, and they told me that many university libraries in the United States are accessible even if you are not a student, like the university libraries that they have. So I checked and I found that some of them are available. So one day I just walked into a library at Santa Clara University at the time. I still remember that feeling, like, students everywhere, like books open, laptops out, exam energy in the air, like, and I could remember my study days at the time. And there I was, like, older than most of them, studying again. And at first I felt really awkward at the time. But then something happened. At the time, a few students came up and asked me, because they saw, like, this is a different guy and he's studying differently, doing some different things. So they were asking me, like, what are you studying for? Where do you work? Which exam is this? They were asking me because they were pretty curious, confident, and comfortable talking. And I realized something very important there. I wasn't the odd one out. I was just another person trying to learn there. That environment changed everything for me. I started studying seriously again. The environment which was there, the students, everyone, studying, just that overall atmosphere that was there. So I started studying, and not perfectly, not every day obviously, but consistently enough that I wanted to. Some days libraries, some days even, sometimes Starbucks, some days wherever I could focus. And was it ideal? No. Was it messy? Yes, definitely it was messy, but it worked. Because what I wanted, I got out of it. And eventually I cleared the PMP exam that I wanted to. And I cleared that exam at the time. Now, here's the real lesson that I want to share. A real lesson. When you grow older, studying becomes harder. Not because we are less intelligent, not because the syllabus or the exams are tough, but because we are tired. We have responsibilities. We are mentally overloaded. Our environment isn't built for learning anymore. Trying to study like you did at 20 often does not work at 30 or 40, right? And that's okay. I'm sharing it with you even though you are 20, because this is going to help you in your journey as you grow ahead in your career. You don't need perfect conditions. I mean, whatever I was doing, like, those were not the perfect conditions in McDonald's and Starbucks and all that, right? You need functional conditions. Just functional conditions. It doesn't matter where you study, how fancy the place is, whether it looked strange to others or not. What matters is, can you focus? Can you stay there long enough so that it's useful for you? And can you repeat it consistently? McDonald's, Starbucks, university libraries, empty offices, any quiet corner, anything. The method doesn't matter. The outcome does. The method doesn't matter, but the outcome does. A lot of people stop studying because they think, I'm too old for this now. This is not my phase anymore. The studies and late night studies and it's not my phase. I'm done with that phase. I should already know everything because I am, 30s and 40s and I'm learned so much now. I should know everything. That's a dangerous thought. Because careers today require relearning again and again and again. And I can assure you that going through kind of the career and my background at work and doing interviews and taking interviews, I can tell you this is important that you have to relearn. If you're watching this and struggling to study after work, I want you to remember this. You are not failing because you lack discipline. It always feels that way, not discipline. You are failing because your environment is wrong. Just fix the environment, the focus follows. If you are, at home and you are not studying and you have everyone around you, it's fine. Okay, quick question for you. Have you ever studied in a place that felt really unusual but worked surprisingly well? Like a cafe or a library or an office corner. Share it in the comments, right? Someone reading might need that idea today. Right? And if you are in that phase right now, trying to balance work, your internship, summer project, whatever, and learning, you are not behind. I want you to hear this. You are not behind. You are building something quietly, something very strong quietly.